Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now, fuck him. Fuck that. Because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. That goes for you and any other you motherfucking farmers wanna try some shit. You fuck around with me, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Haters gonna hate.
And haters gonna hate. Yo, what's poppin'? What's good? What's good, folks? It's your boy Trey Frazier, Maestro Styles. We in the building.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast on barbershopsportstalkpodcast.com. Make sure y'all check out the chat room. Also, check us out on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2, also on the Facebook page and on Instagram as well. And that's Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We got another week here in the books, man. Maestro Styles, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? We got to hit him with the quick one too, man. We definitely got a little bit to talk about and a little bit of time to talk about it.
Oh yeah, we really do.
Yeah.
But first, let me give a quick shout out to the homie Deacon Dell, repping B More up in the chat room, man. Appreciate you joining us, man, on this live feed right here. So, man, I guess we could get right to it, man.
Hey, put that chat room back up on there. Share your screen again. Nah, man, I don't want to see it. My fault. I don't want to see it. I'll let you do the chat room stuff. I don't want to see that shit.
It's funny. I forgot I was sharing the screen with you, so that's why that kind of took me for a loop for a little bit there. But,
yeah, I look at myself. That's all right. I look at myself.
But yeah, man. I mean, we could go in so many different directions, but I guess we got to go Drew Brees here because we named this episode the Drew Brees Journey, so I guess we got to start there.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be the lengthier conversation. So I guess we should get the lengthier stuff out and then rush through everything else because there's some other things that we need to cover. But obviously
Goodell. We definitely got to touch on that. For
yeah. So we can kind of group all that though.
Yeah. I guess. I guess we could do that. So I'll let you start it off, bro.
I mean, look, man. Drew Brees was somewhere on some interview, and essentially last week he said that he ain't rocking with folks disrespecting the flag, and that's just the wrong thing to say at this time. Obviously, he caught a whole bunch of backlash from social media, more specifically Malcolm Jenkins and Michael Thomas and
everybody.
I mean, there were a lot of people involved, and to the point where he had to have some private conversations. Shannon Sharp is another guy who comes to mind. Mm-hmm. And then he had to have some private conversations, and that next morning, he gave 3 separate apologies. One, the PR apology, which we all know was bullshit. The second apology, the look into my eyes apology, where you could take that how you want to take that one, and then the third one, I can't necessarily remember how to describe the third one, but he came up with 3 different apologies. He then announced that he was donating $5 million to the city of New Orleans, which is cool, but I think, in my personal opinion, it should have been a little bit more specific to black people with what's going on and with how he violated. I think that should have been a little bit more specific to the culture. And here we are, man. And now it, you know, this race, this police brutality rather, it's doing something. I don't know how long it's going to last, but if we talking about right now, all this is affecting the country, and it seems like it's going in the right direction. I won't say it's having a positive effect yet, but I will say it's going in the right direction right now.
Well, I'll say that it is having a positive. It's definitely causing some changes, and I'll go ahead and refer to a post that I saw on Instagram, and I don't want to be 100% with this because this was, someone that I knew, from way back in the day had posted some stuff that maybe, she got from somebody else that
the sources is unconfirmed.
That's not 100% confirmed, but so she got this post, right, saying that that the charges against the officer were upgraded, which is good. And I'll just name a couple more things here. In the state of Maryland, bipartisan work group of state lawmakers, they announced that they're going to put together a police reform work group, which is positive also. And then up in New York, the governor's urging state lawmakers to enact a 911, quote unquote, the Amy Cooper. You remember the Amy Cooper story?
No, I thought you was about to go with the Eric Garner Act, because I just saw that the Eric Garner Act is about to be put into effect with
no choke.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's also one of the things that they've implemented as well. But the whole sort of.
But quickly, no, I'm not familiar with Amy Cooper.
So quickly, the Amy Cooper. This was the white girl with the dog that was walking in Central Park. Black man was in Central Park, minding his business. She had the dog off the leash. The guy told her, "You need to put your dog on the leash." And then she called 911 and claimed that this African American is telling me what to do. And so the police came, and the police, of course, made a whole mess out of her, of course. So that's what the Amy Cooper thing refers to. So this is called the false accusation bill that they've implemented based on after that situation happened.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll post some of this stuff to our social media on Instagram, and so folks could take a look at what I'm talking about. But those are just some of the examples that after we've kind of gotten to this point and the message is loud and heard, that states and legislation have made some of these changes into effect. So I'll post that later on our social media platform. But yeah, I think this movement right now it's got momentum right now, man. And just to get the Brees for a second, man.
Right.
I don't know what the hell this dude was thinking, and I understand he was on a different platform. I think it was Yahoo Finance was doing an interview with him. I don't know how a question of what's going on in this country in terms of black empowerment and all that stuff. I don't know how that got into the conversation on Yahoo Finance, but nonetheless, he answered the question, and he just basically said he wasn't down with the movement, and like you said, he got smoke from everybody. And
can I stop you for a second, because I do want to make sure we are specific in what or a little bit more specific in what he said. What he said is that he is not for anybody disrespecting the flag, and everybody took it the way they should have took it, meaning he thinks that kneeling while the national anthem is disrespecting the flag. That's how it was being taken. That's how that's what he meant.
Right.
And I don't even really care how we got there. The fact is that I'm appreciative that he came out and said it, because now we kind of get to know, all right, what some of these folks are thinking. Because we're talking about Drew Brees here, and Drew Brees, for all intents and purposes, before all of this, we knew him to be an upstanding citizen. He did a lot of philanthropic work.
Let me be clear, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean to. But I still think that Drew Brees is still going to carry on the act of philanthropy. I still think that he's still going to be, in terms of, what we've seen as far as character, I still think he's going to be that. The problem is that with all the stuff going on with George Floyd and the movement, he just picked the wrong time to make the comments that he made. And I think what makes it worse is that he doubled down and backed away from it, and all of a sudden he's shouting out Donald Trump and saying, "Hey Donald, I don't agree with this, with what you're trying to, put together." I would at least have a little bit more respect for Drew Brees and saying, "Hey, this is how I feel. I'm not changing, my stance on it. This is what it's going to be. Let's move on."
I think him saying it was the perfect time to say it, because in 2020, and 4 years after Colin Kaepernick took a knee, he still doesn't understand what kneeling meant. Mm-hmm. And so he came out and said that because, flat out, I generally think he just didn't know no better. He really still thought, as a white man, as his ancestors served in the war and all that, he thought that kneeling was a disrespect to the American flag. That's what he thought. Mm-hmm. And he was wrong. And he got corrected viciously, and he should be corrected. Since having those conversations, he said, I didn't know, or I was insensitive, and I, what I'm saying? And, if that was emphatically a learning process, then I'm glad he said it, to get the education that he needed. And let's hope that he meant his apologies, and that he's going to take the necessary steps to helping be a part of this movement and moving the culture forward. Because I like I said, I really think he thought, or he feels like, I really think that he felt like kneeling was disrespecting the flag. And I can't imagine how you would think that after the hundreds of thousands of maybe million times black people have come out, and even in some respects white people have come out and said that kneeling is not a disrespect to the flag. What
was the name of the gentleman that Kaepernick talked to? The guy that was a veteran that told Kaepernick kneeling is the proper way to protest, but also show respect to the veterans.
I don't know.
Even that guy came out and said this was okay, and yet still the message still was misunderstood on account of Drew Brees at that point.
Right. So if right this second, if I got any issue, if I had any issue with Drew Brees, it's because he's just ignorant. Like you're just, that's just stupid. You can't be. You've heard, or at least you should know. I feel like you should know, as somebody that we assume to be somebody who's in the in the community, not necessarily the black community, but in doing philanthropy. You hear these conversations about what Black Lives Matter is, what it means, and what kneeling for the flag meant or means. So I'm sure he's heard these conversations, or been or had the resources to get to these conversations, and yet here you are in 2020, right in the amidst this whole with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all this going on, that you still think that kneeling is a disrespect to the flag. It's just ignorance at this point.
It is. And just to mention this also, so there was a protest in New Orleans. Obviously, every city is protesting around the country. You heard chants of F Drew Brees, F Drew Brees. And that's coming from the black community, and not just that. The fact that New Orleans, as a city, the majority of its population is African American. It's a black city in the way I interpret it. It's a black city. Drew Brees came to New Orleans at a time when things were desperate. They were coming off of Hurricane Katrina. They were coming off of all the damage, and happening to rehabilitate itself as a city, and Drew Brees came there, and was part of the movement to get things up and running, housing, food, things like that, getting the city back together. In some ways, I'm surprised that he was tone deaf about why players were kneeling, and then in other cases, I'm not surprised at all because again, like you said, he's a white man, he has an upbringing. I think he was from Texas or something like that. Both parents were wealthy. Went to a very high, prominent college in Purdue, and really, growing up from that time up until this point, never really, I don't want to say felt like he had to suffer anything in terms of setbacks, but just he had a really good life. I would say, better than most. It's disappointing to hear from that standpoint that you're in a black city, you play professional football in a black city, and yet you were so tone deaf with the comments that you made.
I just wonder what kind of do they must not ever talk about social issues in that locker room.
You got me. I mean, wasn't Malcolm Jenkins once upon a time in that locker room?
He's still in the locker room, I thought.
No, I'm saying, like, when Malcolm Jenkins first came into the league, didn't he play for the Saints?
I think don't he play for the Saints now?
He plays for them now, but
yeah.
I'm saying at one.
You saying back then, right?
I'm saying back then, and the way we know Malcolm Jenkins to be, being in the community and things like that, you would think that conversations like that would have happened even 10 years ago.
Yeah,
almost when he first came in the league.
You would think, but I just wonder, like, does nobody talk to this dude about social? We've had social issues. I mean, if we're even talking about before, Eric Garner and Philando Castile, we've had social issues where blacks were treated unjustly before then. Like, do they never have these conversations with Drew Brees? Does Drew Brees, like, it's shocking to me that he's just that ignorant, or he was just that ignorant to the conversation that was going on. And so then it leaves me with, like, is he lying? Like, what is he doing? See, is he a racist?
It's a good question.
Is he a racist?
In my opinion, I don't think he is, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I don't think he's a racist. I see when you put that kind of money into, when you could put the kind of money he's put into the community, you have to know that it's going to positively affect black people. In that
city of all,
you know what I'm saying. So I don't think he's racist. I think he's I think he's just stupid, or he was stupid to that, or ignorant to that conversation.
He just made a stupid comment. I don't think he's stupid. I think he made a stupid comment.
No. I think he's stupid because that's that comment in these times when all you're hearing about is social injustice and black people being treated unfairly and police brutality, that you would say that kind of a comment. They asked him, how do you feel about everything that's going on? That's what they asked him. Mm-hmm. And your response was that. I don't give a damn about your grandfathers fighting in the world in World War II.
Yeah, like he made it about himself.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about that. And it's like, did you not hear the stories about how black people were also in that World War and came home to being treated like shit?
Yeah.
They went there fighting for America and then came back to America to be treated like shit, while your grandfather and your peoples was treated good and treated with the, got the heroes, the hero treatment, and black people had to go back to using the shitty water faucet. Like, what? Like, did you not? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Nate Boyer, thanks, ABM in the chat. Nate Boyer is the former soldier that had the conversation with Kaepernick about kneeling. So appreciate the ABM. And let me say what up also to Kesey and Mocha Bell is also in the chat room. So
What's happening? What's happening?
I got a prediction.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got a prediction now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? I'm with you. I'm only with you because I want to downgrade Drew Brees' talent just for a second. Because as of right now, the very next thing that came after, after all this, his apologies, is him donating $5 million to, to the city.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, bruh, I'm gonna need you to put that $5 million to Black Lives Matter, or put it in NAACP. Put that shit somewhere else, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because now you coming out, you call yourself trying to correct Trump on social media, and we need to stop acting like this ain't happening and this, that, and the third. Well, you know what would help? Some money.
More than that, bro.
Yeah.
He's got a long way to go before he can gain the trust of teammates and whoever else that's black that's been associated with this guy.
Well, it seemed like based on Mike Thomas's post, that he at least trusts him enough to go back and play football.
What else is Mike Thomas going to say?
He could not say nothing.
Okay, so that's why.
He could,
but that's why I don't expect. I hear what you're saying. They could have stayed silent and just been like, we said what he said. Let's move on. We'll see. I think Mike Thomas is not enough for that team to get to where they got to go. Certainly, I'm sure Cam Jordan's got some words for Drew Brees. I'm sure every black player.
Cam Jordan put a post out, if I'm not mistaken.
Who did?
Cam Jordan put a post out, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I'm just curious about the chemistry of that team moving forward.
It seems, and obviously we don't know. We'll find out when it happens. It seems that the majority of the star players who, which by the way, there aren't that many. Kamara, Mike Thomas, Cam Jordan, Malcolm Jenkins, like those four guys specifically, have come out and spoken since then and said, all right, well, we had the conversation. He my teammate. He made a mistake. Those types of things. Mm-hmm. So it seems like they're going to try. They're moving on. It seems like they've had those conversations. I don't think that this is going to affect them chemistry wise. I'll be honest with you. I think they're going to still feel some kind of way about him in the locker room, but it's not. I don't think that it's going to too much affect them playing football. If I'm being honest,
we'll see. We'll definitely see about that. I know Shaq was called upon to talk to people in that Saints locker room and kind of give them the pep talk about, hey, just don't let the outside noise affect you guys from what your common goal is as a team.
And I'm sorry, I'm not doing that if I'm Shaq.
You said you're not doing it.
I'm not doing that if I'm Shaq because listen here, player. I don't give a fuck about that football team right now. Right now, I need to know that Drew Brees is in the right mind state mentally, as far as how you feel about black police brutality and how you feel about the plight of the black people.
Sure, but I think he also, somewhere in Shaq's heart, I don't know. I don't know why he did it, but obviously he felt the incentive to do so.
Sure,
there's other players on this team that he might have some form of relationship with, and maybe just felt the need to say, hey, you know what? Let me go holler at this team, and share some my experiences, and just in terms of chemistry, not so much about what's been going on, but just in terms of sticking together as a team, not letting any outside distractions affect what you guys got to do. I didn't mind Shaq, going in there to do it. Now, if there was somebody better to do it, I would understand, but I don't see no harm or foul or even in Shaq's heart. He felt like maybe he wanted to go talk to these guys. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe he pulled Brees to the side and said something to him, say, hey, look, you was wrong for that. You was out of pocket for it. Maybe he did that. I don't know.
If he did that, cool. But my thing is that if I'm Shaq, if I'm any black person right now that's talking to Drew Brees or coming on behalf of the New Orleans Saints, I need to know where he at with it. You know what I'm saying? Shannon Sharp said he talked to him on the phone and and he expressed his his sentiments where, we needed you to represent for black people and we need you to represent for us. We need you to not think from the plight of your life as Drew Brees, white privileged male making millions of dollars from a wealthy family and who doesn't have to deal with injustices. At that moment, we needed you to speak on the plight of a black man. We needed to be understanding of that plight. And look, if I don't think you're understanding of that plight, I don't care about football. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about football. I don't care about chemistry right at that moment. Sure, we all want to win Super Bowls and all that, but at the end of the day, you got to respect me as a man. You got to respect my plight as a man. And we've been on this team, Drew Brees, you've been on this team for a break, playing with a lot of black players. And you telling me that you never at any point had any sympathy or common courtesy or sensitivity to the plight of the black man while you sitting here, while they protecting you, while you handing the ball off or throwing it to them, like you getting those stats because of these black people, and you telling me that you ain't have in all these years of playing football the bit of the ilk to understand the plight of what these people going through, how hard they had to fight to get there. Yeah. Nah, I need to know before we talk about anything chemistry, before we talk about anything football. I need to know, like, Slim, like, do you understand what we going through right now? I get it. You are never going to be there. But right now, fuck that flag, because that flag ain't doing shit for us. That's what it's doing for you. It's not doing that shit for us. And you need to understand that. And if we really a family and you want to talk about building chemistry, then you got to understand my plight to build chemistry. We not rocking. I don't understand. Now, if you talking about business, that's one thing. But if you talking about chemistry, then you got to understand me as a man. And he didn't. He don't. And it don't seem like he was interested in it when he made that comment. So yeah, you got to go through the ringer to earn that chemistry. It's just and not just that chemistry with the New Orleans Saints, but any black person you talk to at this from now on.
And part of what you said is why I think I got questions about how they're gonna do the season in terms of chemistry. I really think they're gonna have some problems. Because yes, you can talk about the leaders in the locker room: Cam Jordan, Malcolm Jenkins, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. You talk about all that, but what about the other cats that aren't nearly as good talent-wise, but feel a certain way about it? Take the offensive line. For instance, I could see the offensive line making a statement. I mean, not throughout the season per se, but I mean
basically doing a David Carr.
Okay, yes. I could see a moment where, we're gonna send this message, and it's gonna be loud and clear, and then it's gonna be let's football. And I think from that point on, it's gonna be a mental thing for Drew Brees at this point. After that, it's gonna be how much of the smoke can you take? It's going to be, are you going to be mentally there enough to where you're going to hit your guys in stride? You're going to, you're going to be the quarterback of this team and not just be mentally frustrated or mentally out of it because of some stuff you said that you should have never said. It's going to be interesting, man.
I don't think it's going to be that, because if they do make a stand, meaning the offensive line or the receivers, if they do make a stand, it's not going to last. It's not going to last longer than a game.
Well, yeah, but that's what I said. I said.
But so you think the courses of what he did what they did to him through a game is going to last throughout the entire season? I mean, it's possible.
I'm saying mentally. The rest of the way.
I mean, whether it be mentally or physically, you're saying that he's going to be affected during the course of a game. I mean, through the course of a season, because of what they did to him through a game. I don't think.
No. I'm saying from the mental standpoint of what his comments were just last week, to him getting all the backlash to now happen to face his teammates, and now here comes week one, and your teammates make a statement, And then it's like, all right, we're sending a message. He got the message. Okay, now let's go play. Now, from that point on, moving forward, because of what he said, because of the backlash he's getting, how much of it mentally does it take a toll if it does? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that physically. I'm not saying that he's going to be mentally out of it or physically out of it because of them making a statement week one. I'm saying he could be mentally out of it because of the reason that he's in this in the first place, and that was the comments along with the backlash. That's what I'm saying.
So you saying that he could possibly have a bad season or a non-productive season because of what he said?
Because of what he said, leading to the backlash, the constant backlash, combined with the players making a statement. It's possible.
So you're saying all three of those things as opposed to just the one thing?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, one way or the other, no, I don't think that's sure it's possible. It's possible. I don't think it's going to be the case. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, they're going to attend to business because at the end of the day, this is business. Yes, there's a lot of personal things attached. You share that much time with a person. It's a work relationship. You share enough time with a person, and then you get to know them personally. And which is why, going back to it, I don't understand how he doesn't understand or how he didn't understand that comment was stupid. Unless you're just stupid, because you deal with these people, you have a work relationship. You spend a lot more time with these players, these black players, than you probably spend with your family.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's stupid. He made a stupid comment.
Yeah, I think he made a stupid comment because he's stupid. And when you make a comment of that kind of ilk in this type of time, I don't think you're smart. I hear you. Maestro Styles does not think Drew Brees is a smart person to be that tone deaf in this moment with what's going on. It's a lack of intelligence.
Okay. I mean, we differ in that, department. I think we're on the same page as far as the comments he made being stupid. Let me read something from ABM real quick. He said, Brees is not a dummy, more like a con man, and he lied about filming a commercial urging kids to bring their Bibles to school. But they believe transgender people are just lying to themselves. He might not be a staunch, active racist, but he's definitely not socially aware, and he's tone deaf. So, yeah, parts of that I agree with ABM on, in terms of just being tone deaf to, what just happened recently with George Floyd, and not George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and a list of names throughout the years.
But is he tone deaf because he wants to be, or because he just don't know no better?
I don't know.
Because if he's tone deaf because you just don't know no better, in my mind he's still stupid to me. In my mind, that's ignorance. And if he's tone deaf because he's choosing to be, he's at least a borderline racist, and then that's still stupid.
All right.
I hear you. He's stupid. He's stupid, and maybe he wants to be stupid. I think racism is stupid, so maybe he's just stupid.
Yeah. Doc Bell, ABM says, I believe it's willingly tone deaf. So, let's get into what Roger Goodell came out on video, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here a bit here, but he basically came out on behalf of the NFL and just said that, hey, Black Lives Matter. We didn't listen 4 years ago. We didn't listen, the last 3 years. They didn't listen. And now, even after the commercial with all the black players, coming out, I don't know if you saw that.
No, but I saw it. I mean, basically, I saw the article that read Roger Goodell had to come out and say something because their media darling Patrick Mahomes came out and said that Black Lives Matter, so he needed to come out and be on the side of that.
Yeah, a large reason why. And in addition to that, I think one of the social media people from the NFL kind of leaked that a little bit. But the main reason really is when you get down to the position of leadership, quarterback. Top 10 quarterbacks right now, you got 5 guys that are black, you know. And the league has to recognize that its best star is black. So you take that in consideration. Now you just have no choice. Even if your social media guy behind the scenes didn't leak stuff out, at that point you had no choice but to come out and say what you had to say. Now, there's a question that people are asking, well, why don't he just apologize to Colin Kaepernick? Why don't he say something? Why doesn't he mention Kaepernick's name? I think he's not mentioning Kaepernick's name because it opens the door back up for the lawsuit. If you folks don't remember, Colin Kaepernick filed a grievance against the NFL. They mutually agreed on not just the confidentiality of what they talked about, but Kaepernick walked away with money from the table. So Goodell apologizing to Kaepernick, even though I think all want Roger Goodell to apologize to Colin Kaepernick, I don't expect it because it then opens up the door for the lawsuit. It would basically make Roger Goodell, guilty in the public, more guilty in the public eye than he was portrayed to be. And now, Kaepernick would have the opportunity to, push that lawsuit even further. So I don't expect an apology.
No, I disagree. I expect he should have said his name and he should have apologized because that's who he was talking about. And I don't think the lawsuit was collusion.
Well, I think we agree. Well, wait a minute. I think we agree that he's.
Well, but hold on.
That he should.
The lawsuit.
I'm saying I don't expect it.
But you cut me off though. The lawsuit is collusion. The lawsuit is they blackballed me from the league. The lawsuit ain't. Oh, we should have been listening to Colin Kaepernick about Black Lives Matter and about police brutality. So,
yeah, but that doesn't matter though.
How does it not matter? How can you, if he apologizes to Colin Kaepernick for not listening to him about police brutality, how could Colin Kaepernick then, rehash the lawsuit about them blackballing him out of the league?
Because that's what it was in the first place.
No, the lawsuit was collusion, not him protesting.
Okay. So I kind of see what you're saying here, but
that's not gonna. How would that hold up in court if he said, my fault, Colin Kaepernick. We should have been listening to you and Malcolm Jenkins and whoever else was telling you about, y'all need to take a stand on police issues and police brutality. Do you think?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why would he, if he does that, that doesn't mean that Colin Kaepernick could come back and say, oh, this is why they colluded against me. Now, do we think that's why it happened? Sure, but how would you prove that just because he made an apology saying that we should have listened to him? Because all they're going to say is Colin Kaepernick didn't fit on this football team. He didn't fit on that football team. They can't prove collusion because he said he should have listened to him about his thoughts on what the NFL should do concerning police brutality.
So why do you think Goodell's not apologizing?
I don't know. Let me say that. I don't know why he won't say his name. I don't know if he thinks that's going to be some type of a firestorm of Colin Kaepernick stock going up and NFL stock going down from on video, hearing him admit that he was wrong about Colin Kaepernick or about Colin Kaepernick's views on protesting or whoever's views on protesting. I don't know, but I do know that apology, it don't really hold weight with me. It don't really hold weight with me because you needed this. Colin Kaepernick, I apologize for not taking this matter more seriously when you spoke about it. Period.
So I gotta for some reason, this tweet from Stephen A. came up. It actually addresses what I was talking about. He says here that the apology is not coming. The owners won't allow it, and a commissioner can't violate that. unless they're assured of immunity from a lawsuit. So obviously, there's something there that has to do with a potential lawsuit, and there's something there for the reason why he's not gonna say Kaepernick's name. I think there's a fear that a lawsuit could be coming from Kaepernick's people. It makes perfect sense.
Don't make sense
Whether
to me.
whether it's collusion or not, the fact of the matter is that he's not saying it more so because it's a potential lawsuit down the pike. That don't mean Kaepernick's gonna win. I'm not trying to say that he will.
What would he be suing the NFL for? Is my question.
That they tried to keep him out of the league.
What does him apologizing have to do with them keeping him out of the league?
Because I think that opens up the door. I mean, Goodell is basically admitting that, yeah, we kept him out of the league.
Nowhere did he say that. Nowhere would he have. He didn't have to say, but he doesn't have to say
I said
that.
I said it opens up the door. I didn't say that he said those exact words.
I'm with Stephen A. in the terms of owners don't want him to do that.
Uh-huh.
I get that because now we're like, oh shit, we're admitting that we're racist and we don't want that stigma out in the world that we're to mainstream that we're admitting to be racist. I get that.
Okay.
But
again, he says unless they're assured of immunity from a lawsuit.
Yeah, but that don't mean he's right. It just means that's what he thinks.
But that's my point. The situation with the lawsuit is possible, is what I'm saying.
That don't mean that Stephen A. made a comment based on resources, and I get that, but that don't mean he's right. I'm not saying he's right. Well, you are saying he's right if you're saying that you feel like that he didn't apologize because of he didn't apologize to Kaepernick for fear of a lawsuit. I'm saying
I believe that's why Goodell is not mentioning Kaepernick's name.
Right, and then you read Stephen A.'s tweet in backing of your statement. So you were saying that.
So what's the problem with me saying that?
No, there's no problem with you saying that. I'm saying that you're using Stephen A.'s tweet to say that your theory is right. I'm saying I don't believe that Stephen A.'s tweet is 100% accurate. That's why I disagree with your statement.
Well, it's more so that he may be onto something, not the fact that he's right. That what I was thinking was that what I was thinking about in terms of a lawsuit, and then I read what he's saying. Oh, he may be onto something. Only because I thought about it.
Okay. Yeah. But all that to say, I don't think Colin Kaepernick. He needs to apologize to Colin Kaepernick. That's who he needs to apologize to.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, we agree there. But he needs to apologize to Colin Kaepernick. That's who he needs to apologize to. And so everything he said is cute and it's PR and it's the things that your commissioner should do.
It's
when
not
you
genuine,
got 70% of a league, but nah. You
it's not
Colin
genuine.
Kaepernick. That's who you need to apologize to.
Yeah, I don't expect it.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I need to I need to shout out Mikey Williams, man. I don't know if you know who Mikey Williams is, but Mikey Williams is a basketball player, high school player. I think he's from playing ball in California, I think. Mm-hmm. And recently, I just followed him on Instagram, and I did actually follow him from the podcast account so you could see what he was doing. But he basically is the third-ranked player in the nation. And he is very he's putting it out there that he is strongly considering going to HBCU college. Mm-hmm. Basically saying that players need to understand that they control players control the narrative. We don't have to go to these big schools. We can go to a small school and then make that school the school. That type of conversations. I just want to shout him out because that young nigga dropping gems, and he might be the next dude. He might be the next dude coming up because he already smart enough And if you've seen this, I ain't really seen him play. I ain't seen him play a game yet, but the boy jumped. The boy damn sure got hops. He damn sure got skills. And like I said, he the third ranked player in the nation in high school. So I just wanted to shout him out, and I would implore anybody who is not familiar to go ahead and follow him on Instagram at Mikey Mikey 2 Ys, I think it is. That young boy about to make some noise, and I hope he go to a HBCU. And I was
about to say, I'm seeing some stuff on social media where he's strongly considering going to a HBU, and if that's the case, and if he does, pull that out, then that's 100% dope.
And not only is he, talking about going to HBCU, but he's also talking about other top ranked players. Like, come on, let's go to this, let's go here. I also want to shout out this wide receiver who is transferring. He was transferring from, I want to say Vanderbilt. I forgot the receiver's name, but he's transferring from Vanderbilt to go to Alcorn State in attempts to, like I said, bring out the HBCUs. Then I saw this thread somewhere that talked about what if, one of the Fab Five members had went to like a HBCU and then called all his boys to go to a HBCU. And then how I believe it works is that when you are a part of the MEAC, which is they got mostly his HBCU schools in that conference.
The MEAC conference.
Yeah. So you win that conference, you automatically get a bid in the tournament. So you would automatically, I think you automatically get the 64 seed in the tournament.
If you win that conference, yes.
If you win that conference, right.
And you win your conference tournament, absolutely.
So imagine if, the Fab Five was in the MEAC and got that 64 spot against the number 1 spot. You think for a second that them Bams ain't about to dog whoever that team was?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't put it past them.
And dog that team, and now you got a HBCU team that's in the Sweet 16, in the Elite 8, in the Final 4, in the national championship, winning the national championship, and now we got an HBCU that's heavy on the NCAA radar, and now kids see that school, black kids see that school and want to go to that school. It was a dope thread I read, and I hope that Mikey Williams pulls that shit off, man.
The wide receiver you're talking about is C.J. Bowler, transferring from Vanderbilt to Alcorn State.
Yeah. So I just wanted to shout out Mikey Williams, give him a little shine on our platform, man, because I think he about to do some big things, and I can't wait to see it. My favorite high school player, if I ever had one, that is Mikey Williams right this second. So shouts out to him.
I just thought about this. Think about the financial impact that it would have on these HBCUs. So, the situation you were talking about, getting other top players to come to these HBCUs, make a tournament run, win a chip, put some notoriety on the map. Now other cats see, hey, we can, these guys did it at an HBCU school. We could do the same thing. That brings money into the black community. It brings money into more money into the HBCUs. That would be dope, man. Just sitting here thinking about it, from a financial standpoint, that would be awesome if that would have happened.
That's a fact. Yeah, man. So shouts out to him. I also want to say rest in peace. I don't know why I felt like Reese Caldwell died earlier than Rashay Caldwell, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I feel like he died earlier than this, but I mean, whatever.
There was a wide receiver that did.
Old
pass
Patriots
away.
receiver. Who was it?
I can't think of the name of it. It's funny you said that because when I found out about Rashay Caldwell, I was like, man, like there was another guy that I thought played for the Patriots at wide receiver that passed away too.
That passed maybe a few years ago.
A few years ago, yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, rest in peace to you said Rashay
Caldwell.
Rashay Caldwell. he was on a date Saturday night. Got ambushed by some people trying to rob him. He got shot in the chest and died in an ambulance. So definitely rest in peace to him. Condolences to the family.
Yeah, for certain, man. That it just seems like these black athletes, passing along, and it's just crazy. Like, you were off last week, and I didn't even get a chance to talk about Wes Unseld because he passed away a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure you got some word for that, being that was
rest in peace, man.
Franchise player.
Thank you for that title, man. Rest in peace, man.
In '78, right?
Yeah, for certain. So Dalvin Cook is holding out, and he wants he's holding out until he gets what he deems as a reasonable deal. What's a reasonable deal for Dalvin Cook in 2020, in your opinion?
I guess you got to look at what guys like Zeke are getting, and
really,
I think so. Now that doesn't mean, and when I say you got to look at guys like that, what I'm saying, I'm speaking from the agent standpoint. We're talking about comparables. So obviously, as his agent, I'm going to look to Zeke Elliott and look at his numbers last year, and I don't know him off the top of my head, but I thought Dalvin Cook had a better year last year than Zeke Elliott did. So I think you start there, and then you just kind of work your way. You kind of work your way down slowly, obviously, because you don't want to price them out or anything like that. But I think that's what you start out with. Well, I don't think he's getting Derrick Henry money. See, Derrick Henry doesn't have his new contract yet, but
because do you think that Derrick Henry is going to get paid more than Zeke?
Boy, that's a big question mark right now. I'm not even what the Titans feel about him right now. I mean, they could just be, they just look at the running position and they just, take it for granted. So I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you. Well, I asked what's reasonable. So I went and looked. I took a screenshot of Dalvin Cook's stats. 2017. That's the year he got injured early, if I'm not mistaken. Right? His rookie year.
His rookie year. Yeah, 2017.
So, so 74 attempts, 354, 2 touchdowns, averaging 4.8. That year back, which was also a down year, he was still fighting with the injury. 615 yards on 133 carries. And then last year, 250 attempts, 1,100 yards with 13 touchdowns, which is, kind of more of what you wanted to see from him at running back. But he did it 1 year at running back. Meanwhile, he was the number one guy for certain, but he was definitely I forget who the second guy. Madison, is that the second guy that was there?
Yes, yeah.
He was definitely getting his shine on. Madison was definitely getting his shine on in a couple of games. So if I'm he's second tier. Let me just get there. He's second tier.
But he's on the top of the second tier, though.
He's on top of the second tier for sure. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's Derrick Henry, Ezekiel Elliott money. I think he's $10 million a year is reasonable in my opinion.
So what about a guy like Todd Gurley? So you kind of broke down his career up to this point. Him being Dalvin Cook, Todd Gurley's path is kind of similar, obviously, minus the year he had a couple years ago. But
he had that year a couple years ago,
right? So wouldn't you look at the year he had last year and say, "Hey, this guy got while this guy was making X amount of dollars, this is what this guy was producing." You could start there. As an agent, you could start there. It doesn't mean you're going to be successful.
If I'm not going to just base it off of last year because let's be very clear. Dalvin Cook has injury issues. I can't just look at 2019 and say, oh, that's it, because the fact of the matter is that he played 2 more years and had injury issues, and that's got to be factored into
he
how
missed games in 2018 and last year.
I don't know if he missed. I don't know. He definitely missed games in 2018. I'm looking at his stat line: 133 attempts. He definitely missed.
Oh, he wasn't ready. That's right. I don't think he started the season. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. 133 to 250. That's a big disparity. So he definitely missed time. Without me remembering exactly how his year went in 2018. Matter of fact, I do kind of remember it because I had him on my fantasy team that year, thinking I was about to get my shine on, and he ain't really,
right.
Ain't really materialized for me. But he's second tier. He's second tier, and so the likes of Derrick Henry, the likes of Ezekiel Elliott, he's just not there. He's just not there, and there's no way I can put him there. Does he need to get his money? Yes, 100%. He needs to get a contract. But
what was Melvin Gordon's money like?
I don't remember. You talking about with the Broncos?
Good point.
Yeah,
what's his contract with the Broncos?
Yeah, because he didn't get his money, and he was on the rookie scale in San Diego or Los Angeles. So I don't know. I don't know what his I don't know.
Maybe you look at a guy like him and make the comparable. Because Gordon, I wouldn't put Melvin Gordon in a Derrick Henry or Zeke Elliott tier. I would put Melvin Gordon in a second tier, closer to the top as well.
Well, first of all, he got more time, man. I mean, look, his rookie year, 641 yards on 184 carries. I mean, the only thing you could really say about Melvin Gordon is that his yards per carry had never been above 4 yards except for 2018, and he clearly, like he held out last year, right?
Melvin Gordon held out. Yep.
That's right. He was injured in 2018. Mm-hmm. Even though he still managed 885 yards.
He had a better year in 18 than he did last year.
Right, and then the year before that, 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he was there, and even in the year before that, he had 997 yards with 10 touchdowns. So he's probably a better, I don't know, I won't say better running back, but by statistically, he's been better because he's been there. Mm-hmm. And he's produced. You know,
been there longer than Dalvin Cook for certain.
Meaning he's been on the field. I mean, even if you want to take, like if you want to take 2017 when Dalvin Cook came into, he was already in his bag. Like he was producing since he's been on the field since he's been in the league enough. You know what I'm saying, to get the results. So it's like, I can't really. I would have to, like, if I had Dalvin Cook and Melvin Gordon, I would have to say Melvin Gordon, based on his career so far, I would pay Melvin Gordon more.
Okay, so getting back to
he's
Dalvin
under
Cook, getting back to Dalvin Cook, you probably, and you got to account the games he's missed in 17 and 18. You account for, really his best year last year. And the guy wants to get his money before they tell him, you can't play running back no more.
Yeah. So he's doing this at the right time. Let's be clear.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think you give him. You might be right. I think you give him that second tier money. I think you give something along the lines of $10 million right now.
Facts. Get your money, black man. Get your money.
I think you get that, and then. You know what's going to happen, right? He gonna have a career year again in 2020, and he gonna hold out again for some more money.
Which
I would commend him for, by the way.
Sure,
I would commend him.
Career year. I mean, he got to do a little better than 1,100, right?
He got to do. I'd say he got to do about 1,500.
Yeah, I mean, but you talking about Derrick Henry now? I'm thinking more like if he did, he got at least push it up to 13.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Borderline, yeah.
if you're
1,300 would
gonna
be
come back, if
borderline.
you're gonna come back to the table, if you talking about coming back to the table after 1 year,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, okay. So Allen Iverson, I saw a tweet from Darren Rovell.
Mm-hmm.
Allen Iverson turned 45 recently, and 10 years from today, on his 55th birthday, and it was in his contract that he is going to receive $32 million trust fund as a part of the lifetime Reebok deal he signed in 2001. Why in the hell? I why in the hell are you telling me this right now? I don't know if I just been sensitive to black issues right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to know. I don't want people to know about the fact that he supposed to get $32 million at 55, because then I feel like he might not make it to 55. God forbid.
Yeah, let's not put that omen on him. Let's
Yeah,
let.
that,
I even think about that. I
that's
really I saw
it's
the
probably
tweet.
it's probably been me being sensitive to the, I'm a little
Right,
sensitive of
right,
everything that's going on.
right.
But man, I didn't like get out of his pockets. I seen somebody else tweet that, get out of his pockets, get out of his pockets, man.
Yeah, I saw the tweet and I was like, smart move, boss move. You know, the history or the narrative was that he wasn't good with his money. Throughout his playing career, it was friends, family would ask for hand me downs, and he would just freely give them money, tell them do whatever the hell you want to do with it. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's what's up. And even if he doesn't make it to 55, I would just I'm confident that these players put
Maybe it signed
things
off
in
to his family.
language. Yeah, that they
Yeah,
put things in wills, and or I like this idea even better. Just give it to your kids now. Give it to your peoples now, so that when you die, whenever that time comes, your peoples ain't got to worry about scrambling paperwork and filing this with the court and all that
yeah,
stuff. It already be in their hands. So
yeah,
much respect to Iverson for setting up that deal, and his peoples for setting up that deal.
yeah. In 2001, when he was the best thing smoking in the NBA.
Yeah, for real. Hey, let me. I gotta get back to this quickly. For some reason, every time we're trying to figure out a name of a player, I just gotta go, do the Googles and research. The name Terry Glenn, familiar with you?
Yeah, okay, that's who it was.
That's the
Okay.
guy that
Okay.
passed away years ago. I think 2017
Okay.
or something like that.
Right.
So,
Right.
yep. I don't got anything else, bruh. And your time is
Yeah.
up.
My time is definitely up. But I did want to talk about the NBA season, but we can talk about that next week.
Yeah,
Thanks.
ain't no rush on that.
Yeah.
No
I
doubt,
just
no
want to
doubt.
say that the Wizards are in.
Yeah, well.
I don't care. I don't care. None of that.
Trade Bradley Beal to a contender.
No,
Oh
man.
my God! All right, folks. Make sure y'all check us out on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Also check us out on the Facebook page. Also on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can check us out on YouTube as well. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you got any questions or comments about the show, you can reach out to us at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. I'm Trey Frazier. He's Maestro Styles. And you can find us also on Instagram at Trey Frazier, at Maestro Styles. Maestro Styles is also on Twitter at Maestro Styles. So that's it for the show, and we'll holler at you guys next week. Peace.